once a day that I would pray for you. I'd go and misbehave just so you'd notice too. Sneaking looks up and down from across the room. And damn, what a hell of a view. I feel good, you look great, I like you, I can't wait. A first time, a first date, you're so fine, I'm so late.
Hey you guys, so yeah, I know my post on Instagram went super crazy about updating your W4, so I am here today to show you guys how to fill out your W4 form. Just to let you know, make sure that you stay to the end because I'm going to give you a breakdown of each filing status, whether you're filing single, with dependents, head of household, all that kind of great stuff, to make sure you get all your tax money next year, because these refunds are super low and people are owing this year because this W4 form has not been updated. Just to give you a backstory, in 2022, the IRS updated the W4 form. So instead of you normally just putting, oh, I'm claiming 0 dependents, 1, 2, 3, 4, so on and so forth, now you have to calculate an actual dollar amount on how much you want as far as taxes being removed from your paycheck during the year. Now, just to explain to you guys how this works, let's say you made $40,000. If you made $40,000, I've noticed that a lot of companies did not necessarily inform their employees about the update with the W4. So I think they just rolled over like whatever number you put on there, but because now you have to put a dollar amount, people are not paying the right amount of taxes. So I've seen people that made $40,000 and they only paid $382 in taxes for the whole year. So if you've made $40,000, you're roughly supposed to pay $4,000 to $6,000 worth of taxes during the year so that you don't owe the IRS and can potentially get a refund depending on if you're filing single, with dependents, school, all that kind of different stuff. So I've had people who made $72,000 and didn't pay any taxes at all because, again, their W4 was not updated, so they did not know that taxes were not being taken out. Most people do not check and see during the year if taxes have been taken out because you just assume, hey, whatever my paycheck is what it is. The second reason is people have been going exempt for the entire year, which is the worst thing you can do if you do not want to owe the IRS. If you are going to go to exempt, I would not suggest you go exempt longer than 6 months. Most people, you can go exempt within the lowest 3 months up to 6 months. But the moment that you decide, hey, I'm going to go exempt, you need to make sure you set a reminder on your phone, on the calendar, to switch your status back. So if you decide, in January, hey, I'm going to go exempt until June, you need to make a calendar reminder in June to turn your exemption back on so that they can take taxes out so you won't owe the IRS. Or you can just wait till June to turn it off and then make sure you turn it back on, in January for the new year. Either way, you need to make a reminder for yourself to change your exemption status, because if you go exempt all year, you are going to owe Uncle Sam and they want their monies. So today, for the people who have not corrected their W4, you contacted HR and they told you that you need to get with a tax specialist, I am here to help you fill out your W4 today based on the most basic filing statuses that I normally deal with, which is either single, head of household, filing with dependents, if you're a student, if you're claiming outside income. There's a few different categories that are on the W4 that I'm pretty much going to go over with you guys in this video, so we're going to get straight into it. All right, y'all, we're going to go on the IRS website. We're going to go to search, type in tax calculator, tax withholding for individuals. Okay, there it is. Use the tax withholding estimator. So depending on what status you are, it tells you if you have dependents, you multiply how many dependents you have times 2,000. But you also want to make sure you're taking out the right amount of taxes in general on how much you made. So that's what we're going to do to determine those things. Now, we're going to use the tax calculator. How does it work? It estimates your tax withholding. What do you need? You will need your last pay stub, because you're going to need information off of that last pay stub to help you to know how much you need to be having withheld. Now is a great time, better than any, since we're in January, it's the beginning of the year. So you make sure you get those taxes withheld so that refund can be refunded next year. Because this year they not refunding. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. What is your filing stylus that you will be using for your tax return? So the single one is honestly the easiest. We're going to start with single. Do you have a job that regularly withholds federal income tax from your paycheck? You should. Yes, I do. And then, you answer these questions. Are you blind? 65? I can be claimed as a dependent. So for anybody that's like 18 or still in college, if you can be claimed as a dependent by your parent, but you are trying to file your own taxes because you have a part-time job or whatever, you can always check that off. If you are being claimed or you plan to be claimed, obviously we're not going to go with that. We're just going to go with your single. This is an important part for your tax withholding estimator. If you are single, no dependents, but you have multiple jobs, you plan on having multiple jobs, you might not be at your job too long, you want to change that number up based on your situation. Also, are you getting paid salary or are you getting paid hourly? So there's so many little different things that can be determined. That's why it's important for you to use this tax calculator, because everybody's situation is going to be different. So we're going to say we're getting paid salary because salary is easier. But if you're getting paid hourly, just put that. Select which best describes when you earn income from your job. All year, I currently hold this job, but only for a portion of the year. I had this job earlier this year. I expect to have a job, but I ain't got one right now. We're going to say you expect to have a job all year. How frequently are you paid? Most people are paid twice a month. Use your most recent check stub. I'm just going to say, last Friday, whatever. Do you have other sources of income, or have you made an estimated tax payment? This is important. If you went to college or you're in school right now, if you get grants and scholarships, you definitely want to check that off. If you're getting any type of self-employed, investment income, most people really don't have investment income. Had taxes withheld or made estimated tax payments for dividends, interest. So this is a box that you need to check off. Let's say you left your old job and now you are moving to a new one, so you're taking the money out of your 401k plan. If you plan on doing that withdrawal and taxes were withheld, definitely check that off. If not, for everybody that's just single and keeping it simple, you don't have to check any of those. Each wage or salary per pay period. This is why it's important for you to have your last check stub for this, because you need to know how much you get paid per pay period. So I'm gonna say I'm getting paid $2,150 per pay period. Or your salary at the end of the year. If you don't know what your salary is gonna be at the end of the year, if you make $2,100 every 2 weeks, you multiply that times 2, that means you make $4,200 a month. Multiply that times 12, which means I make $50,400 a year. And again, this is just some random estimated numbers. A confirmation for your income is required. Based on the information provided, it looks like you expected an annual income. Oh, I'm sorry. Each wage or salary per pay period. Each wage or salary year to date. Oh, I'm sorry. So my salary year to date, being that I just got paid on the 20th. See, this is why you need your last check stub. So if I just got paid on the 20th, that means that I got paid before on the 6th. So I've gotten paid twice. So I've gotten paid $4,200 year to date. And is this so? And then it's saying, based on the information provided, it looks like you're expected to make $5 $50,400. Is that correct? Yes, that actually is correct, because that is what I calculated when I multiplied the 4,200 times 12 months. Enter federal taxes paid per period. Okay, this part I don't get. The amount of money withheld from your employers. Enter your federal taxes paid per pay period. This is another reason, again, why you need your last check stub, because you need to be looking at to see if you're actually having taxes withheld. So on $4,200, let's say I paid $125 per pay period, which means that is $250 for the year. It's asking, are you contributing to your 401k, to health insurance? I got a bonus, none of the above. If any of those apply, just go ahead and check them off. But in general, in my opinion, this is the easiest way I know how much taxes should be taken out. I personally get on Google and type in how much taxes should be paid on $50,400 in Texas. You got to put what state you're in, because you might have state taxes and stuff like that. So when I typed that in, it said you will be taxed $8,874. So if I put $8,874, I divide that by 12 months. That is $739 a month. I divide that by 2 because I get paid every 2 weeks. So technically my correct amount should be $369.75 per month, per pay period, and then per month is $739.50. Now again, that amount can differ if you are claiming dependents. You can make the amount lower if you are claiming dependents. But at the maximum, if you Google how much you make and how much you should be paying taxes based on your state, it'll give you the exact amount. So me personally, I'm supposed to pay $8,000. So if I'm single, no dependents, I can put in the $8,000, or I can just, bring it down a little bit and just do $6,000, whatever tickles your fancy, honestly. I don't have any of that stuff. So we're going to click next. Adjustment. Are you making student loan interest payments, education expenses, health savings, moving expenses for a member of the Army, alimony, any of these things? If any of these things apply to you, great. If not, you just skip it. Standard or itemized deduction. This is where it can get tricky. People don't know which one they should do. You qualify for the standard deduction of $13,850. Would you like to itemize your deduction or take the standard? The only time, in my opinion, that you should itemize your deductions is if you have different deductions that you can write off, as far as like if you have a business, or for example, you have student loan interest, you got different mileage because you are a government employee. If you have a bunch of different little things that you can itemize as a deduction, then you can choose to itemize. But most people honestly just need to do the standard. It's easier, and it applies to majority of the people's taxes who file their taxes in general. So don't overcomplicate the situation, in my opinion. Go with the standardized. And it lists out the itemized deductions that you can apply. Medical and dental expenses, taxes you pay. Usually taxes you pay applies to like your real estate taxes, or even your car registration. Like I said, mortgage, give to charities. If you give money to your church or you do donations, casualty and losses, other itemized things. If none of these things apply to you, just do the standard deduction, basically. Click next. Tax credits, child or dependent tax credits. If you have, so this is the part where you're going to fill this out. So if you have dependents, enter the age of the child, how old they'll be by December 31st of 2023. If you have multiple children, all you click is add another child, put how old they are, enter the number of qualified children for child independent care credit. If you have children that you are paying child care for, that is what child independent care credit is for. So if you're paying for their care while you're at work, and however many children you are paying for that child care, whether it be at a daycare or you're paying an individual, just know that if you want to claim an individual watching your child, you will need either their EIN number for the business or their social security number if you're just going to put their name and information. Enter the amount of qualifying work-related childcare expenses. So if your child is going to daycare, you know you pay $135 a week. That's pretty much what you're going to put there. Earned income credit, enter the number of qualifying children for the earned income credit. That's just you putting in how many kids you claiming, again, in general. Educational deductions, usually that is applied to people who are in college. If you're going to a university, junior college, any of that, and you get a 1098-T form, this is going to be for you. Enter the number of students that you're claiming. If you're the only person or your dependent is one person that is going to college and getting that form, you would just put the number 1. If you expect to be eligible for the American Opportunity, enter the amount of credits for which you expect to be eligible. Can cap up to $2,500 per student. Honestly, this part, I would just put in the number of students that can be claimed for the education part. I wouldn't put in a total amount for the credits because, to be totally honest, you don't know what that amount is until they go to school and get the form from the school anyway. So just put the number of dependents that that will be enrolled in college and get in that form. The other part, just leave blank because you don't even know what it's going to be yet. Retirement and savings. Some people do have that. So if you have a credit for retirement, most of that stuff you don't know to the end of the year. Most of these other things you don't necessarily have to consider because most of them you don't get the information or you don't know the total to the end of the year anyway. So you're going to click next, your results. Now, I just want to be clear because I said on $50,400, the expected tax withholding was going to be $8,857. And the same thing the tax estimator told y'all on here is what I Googled. So, Google gonna get you right every time. So the expected amount for me to pay in taxes is $8,857. If I am filing single with no withholdings, no deductions, no dependents, all that kind of great stuff. Anticipated tax obligation is $4,169. Projected tax refund. So if they anticipate if you pay, they're anticipating that you should pay a total of $46.88 as far as your taxes that need to be paid for the year. So you can do the expected withholding based on how much they say you're supposed to pay in general, or at minimum, you can pay the $46.88. So when you're filling out your W4 form, you're pretty much going to put that amount in so that they can withhold the proper amount of taxes out of your refund. Now, as you guys can see, it can differ the amount that you put based on if you have dependents, if you're filing single, different credits and deductions that you can do. In my opinion, if it's $8,800, I would say if I'm not going to do the max at 8, I would either do 4, 6, or 8,000 and just keep it at that. That way you make sure you are still getting a refund. You don't have to owe the IRS at the end of the year. I would keep it safe at 6, maximum 8 if you just want to pay all the taxes that's expected so you can get a higher refund. If you put it at 4, you're going to be like, right, you're not going to get a maximized refund. It's going to be like decent. If you put it at 6, that's a good area, but at 8, you're going to get the max. So in my opinion, Google how much you make, you know how much you make annually. See what that total amount is and find a happy place in the middle. That way, you know you get a good refund. You make sure you pay Uncle Sam, and you don't have to worry about these problems of your job not taking out any taxes during the year. And now you don't have to worry about on the IRS or getting a super low refund. Thank you guys for joining me again. It is Rose Credit Repair, giving y'all tax updates. I hope this helped. If you have any questions, please comment in the comment section below. Thank you again for hanging with me here at Rose Credit Repair. And don't forget, like, subscribe, comment below if you have any credit questions. I'm going to be answering them myself in the comments. So you know what to do. Until next time.